does a QHHT session work? Well, generally, if it's in person, it's called QHHT or Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. That's an in-person session where we meet in person. Either you come to me or I go to you. And if it's online, it's considered beyond quantum healing. And that can be done over the internet as long as you have a laptop or a computer or an iPad even with a webcam and stable, solid internet. We can do an online session. You would need a good 4 to 5 hours set aside of uninterrupted privacy. First, we do an interview, whether it's live or over the phone. We do an interview. If it's in person, well, we do it together. We sit down and we have an interview first. Or if it's over the internet, we do it over the telephone. We just have a phone conversation and I ask you questions. And from there, we gather what questions you want to ask, any health concerns, whatever you want to know. Even if it's for another person, you can ask whatever you want, any questions or concerns, any areas that you would want clarity on, that you would want more specific guidance, or you simply want to connect with a deceased loved one. You can ask whatever you want, anything, even if it's a pet, whatever questions, any existential questions, any religious questions, anything that you can conceive of, you can ask. Obviously, I'm going to direct you to prioritize and ask you which ones are the most important to you. That way we can for sure cover those. And depending on time, we'll get to all the other ones that are not as high of a priority, but I will do my best to get to those questions during the session. But that way I can gauge kind of where you want to steer the knowledge to, and we can get clarity for you on that. After the interview is the session itself. The session itself is 2 hours long. We dedicate 1 hour approximately, give or take, depending on how long. Depending on how active, not how long. How active, some people go into one past life, some people go into many past lives, and they just keep jumping and jumping. It's called leapfrogging, and they just jump into another life, and they just keep going. I try to limit them if they're going into too many so that we don't lose the second hour. The second hour is dedicated to a connection with your subconscious or your higher self. So that second hour is where we get the healing done, any healing that you may need, or we can just check, do a body scan, see what's going on with you, with your chakras, with anything you want to know. It can be addressed during that time. And also that's where we get all the answers to all of the questions that you have. Also any messages that they may want you to know, or any messages for humanity come through during this time. Some people don't even go into a past life. They go straight to the higher self. The higher self is so excited that you came to do this session, and they just keep talking. They're so excited to finally have your captivated attention, a captive audience, and they can't wait to give everything that they've been wanting to tell you. Other times people go into memories, any memories that may need addressing, that they may want you to look at because it relates to anything that's happening in your life right now. They're always going to show you what is directly related to anything that's going on in your life right now. And then we ask, once we get to the higher self, we ask, what's going on. After your life, whatever life you may go into a parallel life, into a future life. It all depends on the individual and what your team wants you to know. They're only going to show you what they want you to know. If you're not ready to hear something, even if you ask the question, they're not going to tell you. They'll tell you it's not important, or we can't tell you right now, or whatever reason that they give. We have to respect whatever the energy says. And also, if you have questions for others, if they don't, for some reason, again, if they don't want you to know, they'll tell you. They won't answer it. So it doesn't hurt to ask. We can ask, because a lot of times they do answer, and then they will tell you. And we get a lot of clarity that way. It's fascinating. A lot of really interesting information comes through during these sessions, and they answer in a way that you, like, normally your regular attitude, how you think that they would answer, they don't answer that way. And that's proof that it's a higher energy answering the questions. For instance, questions that you would think are like good and bad, that you would label as right or wrong, or things that you would judge, such as drugs or alcohol, things like that, that you would assume they're going to answer a certain way, the way that we've been programmed to believe, and they answer in a completely different way. Everybody is different. Everybody's body is different, such as the vegan meat eaters debate. Everybody's different. Everybody's body has different requirements. There is no one way cookie cutter, you have to be vegan, you have to be, whatever. Everybody's totally different. So you can't assume. I have been very surprised during the sessions when, the clients ask certain questions and I think I know what they're going to tell them. And I'm blown away when they say something completely different. That's what makes it so exciting, because it expands their perception and it expands mine. I learn something every session and I feel the client's healing. When the client gets healing, I'm getting that healing. I feel the energy. It's amazing. It is so interesting.